G'day, how you going? God bless you. I believe God's word to be true, every part, including the prophets, which make up to a third of the Bible's total content. I've just completed a study of the beast kingdom. There are 4 beasts described in Daniel chapter 7 with additional information provided in the book of Revelation. The first, second and third beasts are current modern-day dominions, with the 4th beast yet to be formed. We know that Media-Persia is not the bear, and that Greece is not the leopard, because Daniel chapter 8 specifically tells us that Media-Persia is represented by a ram, and that Greece is represented by a goat. Using Google, it is not hard to establish that the lion is Britain by Googling those terms and clicking on images. Likewise, that the eagle is the USA and that the bear is Russia. The British Empire came into existence when they began to colonize North America, first of all at Jamestown, Virginia, on the 4th of May, 1607. Some years later, the eagle's wings were plucked, as foretold by Daniel chapter 7, verse 4, on the 4th of July, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed. The Russian bear is pictured on its side in Daniel chapter 7, verse 5, and has 3 ribs between its teeth. The beast is told, "Arise, devour much flesh." There are 2 very prominent theatres of war which took place on Russia's western side, which is known to Europe as the Eastern Front. This chart illustrates the casualties for World War I as being 20 million, and the casualties for World War II being 60 million, with some estimates as high as 85 million. In World War I it was the Brusilov offensive, and in World War II it was Operation Barbarossa that were the most deadliest battles in history. Russian deaths were the highest for any country during World War II. It follows then that their retaliation and subsequent victory over Germany and the Axis powers illustrates their devouring of much flesh. Revelation chapter 6 verses 3 and 4 tell us there is going to be a 3rd world war after the 2nd seal is opened. World War III is going to be the 3rd rib in the mouth of the Russian bear. The 1st seal is going to be opened on Yom Teruah 2017, which is the Day of Alarm, when Prince Harry goes forth conquering and to conquer, as he promotes the RFID or NFC chip for the purposes of world peace, beginning at the United Nations General Assembly on the 22nd of September 2017. The 3rd beast is a 4-headed leopard with dual wings. Because of the foundational hermeneutic discovered with the 1st beast and 2nd beast, we know that the 3rd beast will be a modern-day country or dominion represented by a leopard. The 2nd key to understanding the 3rd beast is by understanding the relationship that Central Asia has to Britain, which is the 1st beast, and to Russia, which is the 2nd beast. Central Asia has been a highly contested piece of land in what is known as the Great Game, which was between Britain and Russia, and what is also known as Heartland Theory, which states whoever controls the heartland has dominion over other parts of the world. Territories in this region include Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Of interest is Kazakhstan, which has a monument of independence in Republic Square in the former capital Almaty, of a leopard with wings. Further is a 2008 billboard promoting President Nazarbayev's economic plan for 2030, also in Almaty, with 2 iconic leopards, both with wings. Thirdly, there is a statue of a leopard with wings in the new capital, Astana. And lastly, Kazakhstan also has a variety of different coins minted with leopards on them, as well as some banknotes with the winged leopard. This is significant since ancient Greek coins have been found with goats on them. Yet another ancient Greek coin has been found with an image of 2 ram's heads, which is believed to be a celebratory coin marking the victory Greece had over Media-Persia. The coin's ram's heads are shown on cups believed to be spoils from war. Media-Persian coins are rare as they were mostly melted down and restruck for Greek coins. Pakistan and Afghanistan both have snow leopards as their national heritage animal, which also can be found on coins and on stamps. The common thread to these 3 countries is that they have Sunni Islam as their predominant belief system. If we then look for another country in this region with leopards shown on their currency and Sunni Islam as the dominant belief system, we find the country of Turkey, which has an Anatolian leopard shown on a 20 lira coin and on a 1 lira coin. We now have 4 leopards' heads and 1 set of wings. The group that is most accelerating the presence of Sunni Islam in the world at the moment is ISIS. This acceleration process is best represented symbolically by wings. As it turns out, if you Google ISIS and wings, you'll eventually get some images of the Egyptian goddess Isis, which has wings. I believe for these 2 reasons that Isis is the second and last set of wings on the 3rd beast. To sum up, Sunni Islam is the 3rd beast, represented by Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkey and ISIS. This then leaves the 4th beast, which will be a combination of the previous 3 beasts, plus some additional hidden elements. The 4th beast is described in Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 as dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and exceeding dreadful in verse 19. This 4th beast is going to come to power in the middle of Daniel's 70th week, which is 7 years long, and will reign for 42 biblical months, ending with the return of Jesus Christ on the Day of the Lord, on Yom Kippur 2024. Daniel chapter 7 verse 21 and Revelation chapter 13 verse 7 both tell us that this beast is going to be at war with the saints. Daniel chapter 7 verse 7 and Revelation chapter 12 verse 3 both tell us that this beast has 10 horns. Daniel chapter 7 verse 23 says this beast will devour the whole earth, and Revelation chapter 13 verse 7 says power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. There is therefore sufficient hermeneutical evidence based on these comparisons between the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel to suggest that the 4th beast in Daniel chapter 7 and the red dragon beast in Revelation chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 13 are the same beast. Revelation chapter 13 verse 1 connects to Revelation chapter 12 verse 3 with the addition of 3 crowns to the 10 horns, making a total of 10 crowns, since this is now in the middle of Daniel's 70th week, whereas the 7 crowns were at the beginning of Daniel's 70th week. Revelation chapter 13 verse 2 tells us the dragon beast will have a body like a leopard, feet like a bear, and a mouth like a lion. Daniel chapter 7 verse 7 and verse 19 tell us that the 4th beast shall have iron teeth and brass nails. Revelation chapter 12 verse 3 and chapter 13 verse 1 tell us the dragon beast has 7 heads. The information presented indicates an amalgam of different aspects of the previous 3 beasts in Daniel chapter 7, as well as the metal kingdoms seen in Nebuchadnezzar's dream in Daniel chapter 2, in addition to the dragon head itself. The 3 beasts of Daniel chapter 7 have a total of 6 heads. This, in addition to the dragon's head, makes up the 7 heads spoken of in the book of Revelation. We know from history that the brass represents Greece and that the iron represents Rome, as foretold in Nebuchadnezzar's statue. The bear's feet and brass nails is telling us that Russia and Greece will combine at that level, and indeed the 2 nations are regarded as each other's brother nation. Britain was invaded by Rome in 43 AD and became Roman Britain until 410 AD, thus establishing the connection between the mouth of the lion and the iron teeth, since Roman ideology was incorporated throughout Britain. It can be inferred from the iron and brass metals in the 4th beast that the horns and the crowns are also made of metal. If we apply the order given in Nebuchadnezzar's statue, we can extrapolate that the horns are made from gold and the crowns are made from silver, implying a connection with Iraq, which was formerly the location of Babylon, to the dragon head, and Iran, which was formerly the location of Media-Persia, also to the dragon's head. The next step is to determine what country the dragon head represents. If we go back to the 1st beast and 2nd beast hermeneutic, then we are looking for a country that uses red and dragon. A Google image search for these key terms plus China returns a positive result for the aforementioned country. The Chinese venerate and adore the dragon. There are also strong diplomatic relations between China and Iraq and between China and Iran. Let us now turn to Paul Godfrey, who makes a strong point about the remnant of Nebuchadnezzar's statue being present in society today in this 90-second clip from his documentary Daniel-Unsealed, World History's Response to Biblical Prophecy.
At the time of the destruction of the nations, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome will lose all the legacy they have left behind, and it is then that the gold and silver, brass and iron will cease to exist in all things. While Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome do not have dominion, what they have done while they had dominion is still present in our world today. Babylon, the source of cultic religion and spiritualism, is alive and well today. Persia, that pioneered the principles of rulership through global economy and worldwide trade, is also very prominent today. Greece introduced philosophy and mind culture, coupled with sports and Olympic Games, that has never been lost in our world. Rome, with the principles of an iron government, clothed in the garb of democracy and republicanism, is also alive and well today. However, when Jesus Christ comes, all this, the gold and the silver, the brass and the iron, will be destroyed and forgotten in the kingdom to come.
Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them.
As you have just heard, the Babylonian, the Media-Persian, the Greek, and the Roman elements permeate today's society, with the addition of the European Union, represented by the feet of iron and clay in Nebuchadnezzar's statue. The European Union's methodology is now being used by the United Nations as a blueprint for its governance. Likewise, we see the 4 beasts affect our society today, including Britain, Russia, Islam, and China. Beware therefore of the little horn seen in the head of the fourth beast, and what Daniel calls the prince that shall come. Psalm 118 verse 9 says this: "It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes." Thanks for listening. God bless you in your journey, and goodbye.